Hello everybody and welcome to my video. Doing Darkest Dungeon, the first run through. I have a save file I've already been working on, but I have a lot of people, a lot of friends that I've told about this game and they don't understand it and it gets them kind of pissed off. So I figure I would start a new campaign and just give some basic strategy and some basic ideas. As far as how to play the game, because you ask my family or anybody else, I'm definitely somebody who gets in a lot of trouble, and I always seem to get my way out of it and survive a little bit. So I figure I'd go ahead and tell you guys what I do in this kind of situation. I mean, it does say in the very beginning of the game, you know, expect to die. That's the first thing I can tell you right now. Expect to die. If you play the game trying to survive every encounter, never losing anybody, that's good. But if you lose someone, there's a reason why you get so many people over and over and over again. And if you don't get those people, then they're just kind of sitting over there and wasting, you know, and you're not trying anything new. And I found a whole bunch of teams that I never would have tried had I not lost people, and I was like, okay, well, I only got these 4 that I can use, and how can I put them together? And I'll include a link in the description for a page I use that gives some named teams. And some of them are good, some of them are just goofy, but it'll give you some ideas as far as how you can play them. So I'm just going to do what I can to try and help out. So we're going to select this letter here. If it's your first time playing, deselect everything. Honestly, just play the regular game for your first playthrough. On your second playthrough, you know, try adding like the flagellant and the shield breaker. You could play with districts on your first playthrough. It doesn't really do much for the game. Like making it harder. In fact, it actually makes it a little easier. The Crimson Court is the first DLC, and it adds a whole new spin on the game. And I would recommend playing the game once, and then adding the Crimson Court. Because if you see right here, you can just add DLC by pushing in R3. So you put it in, and then you choose which ones you want to add. Like on this file, I completed the game. I'm working on the Crimson Court. Once I finish that, I'm going to add the Color of Madness and the Musketeer. And that's how I'm playing it, is one DLC at a time. Because I figured if I would have got the game when it came out, that's how it would have happened, right? I would have played the regular game, and then I would have played the DLC. So, for this first run, we're going to deselect that. I'm actually going to keep... I like the Flagellant. I do. He's one of my favorite guys to mess around with, and he's a good healer. So I go ahead and keep him in there too. And I'm going to keep districts on there because, like I said, it's only a boon. And adding a character that you're comfortable with. Most people won't be comfortable with it, but I am. And just for this first run, I always recommend to people, go ahead and play it on Darkest. Because if you play it on Radiant, then you're not used to the challenge, and then when you get to the harder levels, your characters are leveled up really fast, you really don't know what you're doing, and it causes a strain on what you have as far as money, as far as what you have on your collectibles, you know, which is the main progress system of the game, because you're leveling up too fast. You know, Darkest is a little harder, but it'll level you up at an equal level, so that way you're not having so much trouble later on. And one of the biggest things you want to do is make sure your characters are completely well-rounded. Just for this quick video, I'm going to go ahead and do it on Radiant, just so I can give you the basic ideas and premise of the game and an introduction on how to play it. We'll call this, we'll call this the YouTube Dungeon. Absolutely. YouTube Dungeon. There we go. Alright, and then let's see, like now I could go ahead, say, I can enable stuff whenever I want. So yeah, this is the YouTube Dungeon.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
Now, I love the narration in this. It's very, very good. Honestly, it's just an absolute incredible person they got to do everything. So, I would say listen to the story, especially a first time through. There we go. I'm playing on the PlayStation, so it's a little bit different, but and the game's still the same. It's just different controls. Essentially, this first part is just complete RNG. You're always going to start with the same two people. You're always going to start with the same two people. You're going to have Reynold, you're going to have Dismas. And Dismas is set up so that he's got his long range gun blasts. He's got an ability to give himself a boost in damage, crit in accuracy, and then he's got a bleed, which is all good. You know, it's all set up. As you can see, preferred position up there at the top, it says 2 or 3. We got him in the second slot. Preferred target is the number 2, followed by the number 3 target. So I mean, he works out the way he's supposed to. His quirks, we'll get into those later. For right now, it's basically just, these are good quirks, these are bad quirks. You can have up to 5 of each. And then we got Reynold, who always starts with Kleptomaniac. I don't know why, honestly. It kind of bugs me, because you have to get rid of that, and there's no way to get rid of it in the beginning. So in the beginning, you're gonna have to deal with the fact you're gonna lose some items, because he's gonna steal them from you, unfortunately. And it's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. As you can see, he's got Smite, Zealous Accusation. That one will actually hit the first 2. There's a red line connecting the first 2, so that'll actually hit both of them. And then Stun and Blow does a stun with half the damage, just because it does have the stun effect. So that's whole effect. It does extra damage versus unholy, skeletons, etc, etc. That one's minus 40% because it's hitting 2 targets. That one's minus 50% because it's doing the stun. And then that one right there marks you, so that way they don't target the other person, and gives you a 20% bonus shield basically on the damage. So honestly, it's a good starting pair. Not my personal favorite.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
Alright, so dispatch the thugs, so that way everybody knows, here comes a badass. Anyways, alright, combat is turn-based on your hero's turn. You select a skill icon and then select the target. Alright, so like I can't use this one because there's nobody in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th slot. As you can see in the red, it only hits the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th slot. That one I can do, it'll hit the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And then that one I can't do. But I'm gonna go ahead and bleed him. He resisted. Alright, let's slash him. Boom. There we go.
The onslaught. Destroy them all.
Loot's good. Loot's always good. Speaking of loot, interactive objects known as Curios. Most of these you can. I'll include a link that I use. I guess I could do. But there's also mini pages that'll tell you, okay, here's all the Curios that you'll find in each area, and here's the things you can use in them to make him better. Now in the beginning you don't have any supplies, so you can't use that technique to get bonus stuff, so you just have to take it. Valuables include...
Leave nothing unchecked.
A little bit of gold, and then
the
jade.
Places.
Gives you 375, so that's always good. Light's gonna dim. That's the other thing, dim light. As you can see now, it says that the stress, the monster crits go up, and our dodge, scouting, and monster surprise is still up, but not as high. The dimmer the light gets, the harder it gets. So first time playing, you want to keep that lit up.
An ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
Yes, sir. Alright, I'm gonna go into a pistol shot, so I'm gonna take out this guy in the back first. As you can see in the bottom there, stuns 50%, so I had a 50-50 shot of stunning him. But we're gonna try anyway. We stunned him, okay. Now the stun only works once, because he'll get a boost. As you can see, he's got a plus 50% stun resist for 1 round, so that gives him for 100% stun now, so not gonna be able to hit him. So we're just gonna blade him, and we'll slash him. Good dodge. Good dodge. Play him again. Oh, those actually hit. Okay.
The bigger the beast, the greater the glory.
Corpses. Now you can turn these off, but the game's meant to be played with them in play. So obviously I can't get past the corpse. So, like, I can't attack that guy because the corpse is still in the way. So go with the gun.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Now unfortunately I didn't get a key here. If you do get a key on this, then you can open that chest. Otherwise don't bother, it's booby trapped. You need the key to open it. Sometimes you'll get a key drop, sometimes you won't. But that's 4 there, boom, boom, boom. There you go. And then you always have a choice to go back to the hamlet, or to remain where you're at. So if you choose to remain, then you can continue on the map and like find other stuff, collect more items, etc, etc. But the bandit trap chest doesn't look quite right with this one. You'd hit triangle, you'd highlight the key, and you'd select the key, but obviously we don't have that key, so we're just going to complete the mission. Now at the end of each mission, you're going to have this screen right here, alright? It's going to go ahead and tell you how much XP you got, which I got 2 resolve XP. I boosted my characters up from level 0 to level 1. Most characters will start at level 0 until you level up, until you upgrade your township. But that'll come later. For right now, you're pretty much going to get characters level 0, and they're like 1 match. That's all it takes. 1 dungeon run, they're level 1. After that, it gets a little bit harder, but in the beginning, that's how it is. After every match, you're going to get to this screen, and as you see, you got the faces there that represent essentially the same thing as drama. You know, the smiling face, the sad face, because there's good and bad. And they will be bestowing quirks on your party. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. So we'll see what we got here. We got 2 bad ones and a good one. So the bad one, plus 20% stress if the HP is below 50. So he's fine, but once his HP goes below 50%, it'll be a bonus 20% on the stress that he gets. And stress is a killer in this game. You want to keep your stress down. Fragile max HP is reduced by 10%. So obviously not a good one to have on your tank that's sitting up front. You want him to have as much HP as possible. So that's a bad one to get. And then a plus 5% virtue chance. Now, if you look on the bottom of the screen, where it says Decimus right there, and right below the 1 there's that little white box that's highlighted. That is your stress meter. If that fills up all the way, then you'll be put to a chance challenge. that chance will either give you a virtue or you will be just listed with an infirmary. And the bad ones stress out your friends, they stress out your team, they just cause problems. But if you get a virtue, then sometimes it'll keep it reducted. You can go all the way up to 200% stress, and then it'll just zero it out and take away your virtue bonus that you have. You don't have to worry about anything else. If you have a bad one and you get to 200, you'll actually have a heart attack in this game. And that heart attack will cause your character's life to go instantly to zero and put you on what they call death's door. If you get hit any time while on death's door, any damage you take while on death's door can kill your character. So yeah, having a heart attack is bad. And then it only reduces your stress by 40%. You know, or not even 40%, it's 20%. It reduces it by 40 points. So you're at 160, and then it could easily get right back up to 200, and you'll get another heart attack. And if you die from a heart attack, then it stresses out the rest of your party. And it's just the stress is what kills you in this game, not the actual characters themselves.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
So here's how you start. You start off, this is the hamlet. Obviously, it's pretty boarded up. You pretty much left it behind. It's been a hell spawn, so your point is to try and bring this place back to life. The stagecoach is where you're going to get new heroes. Very important. Now, they start you off with 10 of the figureheads, 10 of the pictures, 10 of the what I call scripts, but they're actually something else. I don't remember exactly what they're called. I think they're deeds is what they're called in game, but they look like a receipt, so I call them a script. And then 20 of your emblems there, the shield right there. So you start off with that so you can upgrade some stuff. Now, the graveyard, it'll
Most
tell you
will end up here,
how your characters
covered in the
died, who
poisoned
killed them,
earth,
etc., etc.
awaiting merciful oblivion.
And then the ancestors' memoirs.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
So it'll tell you, it'll basically let you review and listen to all of the things that he has for his story about the creatures that were created and how they got worse and worse and worse. And then you got the darkest dungeon itself. And then the final stage is your campaign and the epilogue there. It says collected journals on the bottom. As you go through, you may find journal entries, and you can collect those to get some extra parts to the story. It's all story, extra stuff there. The Nomad Wagon, you can buy trinkets here.
Trinkets and charms, gathered from all the forgotten corners of the earth.
As much as I love the narrator, it doesn't help me with my YouTube video. Anyway, I wouldn't really use this. I wouldn't. It's just that most of the stuff here you're going to find in dungeons and you'll get it for free rather than having to drop 10,000 on it. As you see, I'm only starting with 6.5, so I can't even buy one if I wanted to. And I mean, in the end, there's sometimes I've used it. It's very rare. Like, I had it fully upgraded, and it was just to fill gaps. You know, I was at like 125,000 gold. I had nothing to do but fill the gaps, and so I bought some pieces so I'd have them. You know, that's about the only reason why I'd ever use it. Other than that, there's no point. And then, as I said before, the stagecoach, that's what we're going to upgrade. Upgrades, very important.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
Like it says, the stagecoach is your hero lifeblood. Without this, this game would not last very long. Now, there are challenges out there. I've seen people go ahead and play this game one playthrough, no deaths, etc., etc. I can't say I could do it because I haven't been able to do it. I've had characters die, or I've had them get so messed up due to stresses and quirks that I just finally just toss them and get somebody new. And essentially, you have to be like the world's most, like the biggest jerk of a boss, so to speak. Like, you're the head of human resources, and sometimes a character's just not getting enough good quirks to balance out the bad quirks, and their stress is getting too bad, they're getting diseases and stuff like that, and it's just not worth your time. Or maybe you try a new character, like you come to your stagecoach, oh, I haven't used one of these yet, and so you add it and you give it a shot, and then you realize, damn, this character just sucks, I hate him. Dismiss him, get rid of him. If you're not going to use him, get rid of him. This isn't your typical RPG where you fall in love with your characters. You'll get 7 different plague doctors come in. They all have their own name. They all have different bonuses. They all have different moves unlocked. You gotta just play the game for what it is. And if a character dies, it dies. Very simple. But we're gonna add these two.
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
And that'll give us the ability to have a team of 4. Now, as for the upgrade, as you can see, it says L2 up in the corner. These are your upgrades right here, and this one uses the scripts right here. The Stagecoach Network, that increases the number of recruits available for hire. So, if I go over here, it'll increase us the next time the Stagecoach comes in.
More arrive,
now I get 3.
foolishly seeking fortune and glory in this domain of the damned.
Now, I could go ahead and upgrade this, but I'm not going to. What I'm actually going to do is down here on the bottom, you can select this and you can trade heirlooms for other stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those figureheads right there, I'm going to bump it up, get some scripts again, go back into the stagecoach, boom. So now I'm going to be getting 4. And by getting 4 every time, guarantees that even if you wipe out all of your characters, you got 4 characters left and all 4 of them die. Well, you're going to have 4 more right there. So now you cannot officially lose this game by having 4. You can't have a game over. You're not going to lose everybody. You're going to have a full team every time. Now, will it be a good team? I can't promise you that. You might get 4 of the crappiest characters in the game. But you're going to have 4. So I just recommend it. Get it at least to there. The hero barracks increases that roster size. Okay, that's great. But for right now, it's at 4 of 9. The next time it comes in, I'm gonna have. Let's see here. Next time it comes in, that's 4, so that'll put me at 8 if I take them all, which I probably won't. But if I take them all, it'll give me 8, and then after that, if I take those ones, now I got a full one. Okay, so then now I could worry about upgrading the hero barracks. It's only 3 scripts. I mean, technically, in fact, you know what? That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna go down here. Just do that. Boom. There we go.
Great heroes can be found even here, in the mud and rain.
That'll let me have up to 3 full parties that I can use and sub them out, and it's going to be important. The tavern and the abbey, those will let you go ahead and de-stress your characters. The sanitarium will let you go ahead and remove bad quirks, keep positive quirks, and also remove diseases. The guild lets you go ahead and increase the abilities of your characters. So like, if you look at Reynold, he's got these right here. I can boost those up to a level 2. And it'll make him stronger, more accurate, etc, etc. But yeah, that's how the guild works. And then the blacksmith, that's for the armor and for the weapons. Now I will tell you right now, upgrade armor first, then weapons. Armor first, then weapons. Why armor first? Why not upgrade the weapons? Do some damage. The RNG in this, half the time you're gonna miss. You're not gonna land every single strike you do. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna miss. But the higher your armor is, the higher it increases your dodge ability, which means you have a better chance of them missing you as well. So you can have a level 5 sword, but if you got level 1 gear, you're getting hit as much as they are. If you have level 5 armor and a level 1 sword, you're still dealing damage, but you're taking a lot less. And so you could survive longer, give your healer a chance to heal up your team. Very important. So I just say, if you're going to do your upgrades, upgrade your armor first, then upgrade your weapon. If you have to make a choice between the two. Down here in the bottom, it's triangle. It's for trinkets. You'll start out with a couple. You got this one, which reduces the amount of stress and gives you a chance at virtue. And then you got this one right here. Death blow resist. That's what I said when you're on death's door. Gives you an 8% bonus to that. So a chance to resist getting killed off. But we'll go to the embark menu and we'll explain that one there too.
A mecca of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
Alright, so you're going to select your characters. Generally, this is your starting party. You're going to start with a team called the Usual Suspects. You got Reynold, who's your tank up front, doing some basic damage to the front end. You have Dismas going ahead and doing that ranged combat with his guns, as well as applying bleed. Then you got, in this case, the name is, I'm going to say Mamino, is what it looks like. Mamino? I don't know. He's a plague doctor. Anyways, he's going to have, looks like this one came with blinding gas for stun. It'll stun the back rows. And then also the plague grenade causes blight, 4 points of damage for 3 rounds. Damage over time will stack. I'm saying that again. Damage over time does stack in this game. It's not that, oh, I inflicted bleed, and so now that's just, if I inflict bleed again, then they only get that 3 points of damage. No. If I hit him with blight, that back row is going to take 4 points each round for the next 3 rounds. So if I do blight again, and it hits them both again, now they're taking 8 for 2. Say I hit him again. Now that next time they're taking 12 damage, and then if I miss, the next round would be 8, and then the next round would be 4, as that wears off. So you can stack damage over time in this game. It's actually a strategy I've used. I have a team that does nothing but blight and bleed damage, and it's fun. I like using it. And then we got the battlefield medicine. This is actually a pretty good setup. The only thing I'd change, get that and add that so I could target the front row. But other than that, this is actually usually how I have my plague doctor set up. But that'll take bleed and blight off of your characters and even heal them for a point of damage, so that's not too bad there. And then we got our healer. This is our main healer that you're gonna have. Not the best stat that I would have. I'd like to get rid of these two right here and throw on these two personally, but I don't have the ability to do that right now. Healing a single target, 4 to 5 points, and then we got the Divine Comfort, which heals the entire party for 1 to 3 points. That one will de-stealth, but you're not going to deal with stealth until you get to level 3 dungeons, so don't even worry about that right now. And then Hand of Light does extra damage against Holy, but as you can see with the yellow dots there, the positioning, she'd have to be in the front 2 rows, which I am not putting her in the front 2 rows. She's my healer, keeping her in the back. So the only things I'm going to really be using, she's not even going to be in the 3rd slot, so that one's useless. So these are pretty much the only 2 I'm going to be using right here. And we're going to keep those on her. Now as for how to apply a trinket, I recommend you apply the trinkets. So if we bring up Reynold right now, go ahead and hit triangle, there's our trinket. So now we got these 2 right here. Now Reynold and Dismas are going to be the ones up front, so they're going to be the ones that go ahead and get attacked that way. So I'm going to go ahead and put the stress relief on Dismas. We're going to put this one on him. There we go. Wait, hold on, let's just see there. That's right, he's fragile. Forgot. It's like, why is his HP down? Anyways, so then we go ahead, we select, that's obviously Darkest Dungeon, that's a level 6 right there, as you can see on the left hand side. Yeah, we're not ready for that. And then Apprentice 1, short, very simple. We'll get 3,000 gold. we'll get 4 crests, and we'll also get a debuff charm, which increases debuff resistance. However, we'll go ahead and remove 2 dodge as well. So, I mean, honestly, I don't even think I have anybody with debuffs right now, so I ain't got nothing to worry about with that. But it's the one it comes with, and it's the first mission. It's just the way it's going to be. You will unlock the Warrens, you will unlock the Cove, you'll unlock the Weld. I can't say this enough. Learn each area. Some characters are pointless to take into other areas. For example, if I'm going into the ruins, I'm probably not going to take a lot of bleed damage. Why? Well, because a lot of it's undead and the undead don't bleed, so it's kind of pointless. If I go to the Warrens, I'm probably going to stay away from blight damage, because the blight damage actually is highly resistant in the Warrens. Just like bleed is highly resistant, still can apply it, but it's harder to get applied in the Cove. But blight works better, so you know, I'm going to take more of a blight team into that one. And the Weld, I'm usually taking just straight up damage as much as I can get in there. It's usually big creatures that have a lot of, you know, bulk to them, but they also have damage over time as the main thing. They're very high on their protection, so they can take a lot of damage. They're all tanky, and so I'll take a full bleed blight team into that one, and that's actually how I found one of my favorite teams. I actually lost in the Weld, and I only had 4 characters left, and it was a jester, 2 abominations, and an occultist. And so I threw the occultist in the back just to try and get those random heals and hope they would work. Threw the jester in the 3rd slot so that way he could slash away with his applying bleeds and stuff. And I had the first abomination change and do damage, and I had the second abomination just spewing blight damage. So I have blight and bleed being applied to the 2nd and 3rd over and over and over again. I had the first abomination doing damage. I had my healer, even though it wasn't that great, it was kind of random, but it got me through it. And so I was like, okay, cool, so there's got to be a way to work this. And I found trinkets that made them better, and it was actually a decent team. It's actually one of the teams I used to go through one of the parts of Darkest Dungeon. So you never know what's going to happen. Don't take the game so seriously and fall in love with a character, because you can lose it at any time. All it takes is an entire team focusing on one character and getting a surprise attack, putting your characters out of sorts, and then they do 4 hits onto your character. The 3rd hit puts them on death's door, 4th hit kills them, and you never even got to get a shot off. And then you lose them, and it's permanent death. They will die, they'll be gone. You won't get them back. However, there is an event that comes through once in a while where it lets you bring one character back from the dead. Now you'll have to pay for their upgrades again, but their level will still be the same. So yeah, it's best just to play the game, and then if you lose somebody, just don't take it too seriously.
The cost of preparedness, measured now in gold, later in blood.
Alright, now as for the Curios, like I said, first off, you need supplies, because the supplies work with the Curios. Now, we're going into the ruins. So if we're going into the ruins, first off, we're going to need food. Hunger checks. If you don't have enough food for a hunger check, it does damage to you and increases your stress. So, it's a short dungeon. Here's my rule of thumb. 8 food for every campfire, and an extra 4 food for every hunger check. So, if I have no campfires, I'm going to make sure I have enough food for at least 2 hunger checks. If I have 1 campfire, that's a medium dungeon, I'm going to take 8 food plus another 4. Another 8, I mean, so I'll have 16 food. And if I have a long dungeon, those are long dungeons. Okay, well now that's 2 campfires, so that's 8 plus 8 is 16. I'll take the initial 8 again, so that'll go ahead and put me at 24. And then I'll actually take a little bit more. Because it's a longer dungeon, I'm probably going to hit a few more hunger checks. So I'll take another 8 food just to be safe. But for a short dungeon like this, just 8 food will do it. It's 2 hunger checks. It takes 4 for each one. For some of the Curios, in the ruins, shovels work, and plus also blockages you come across. It's kind of like a hunger check. If you don't have a shovel, it's going to do damage to you and increase your stress. These, I'm going to go ahead and take a couple of those. This is to stop bleeds, that's to stop blight. This is good pretty much for a Curio that's in here, and that's it. So I'm going to take 2 of those just in case I run into it. Keys, I'm not worried about keys right now. Holy water, I'll take 2. And then torches. You're not going to need this one right now. Don't even worry. I mean, I'm even in like level 5 dungeons, I haven't taken this. It's designed to remove when you get horror placed on you. Some creatures will apply horror to you, which increases your stress over time. It's kind of like a DOT on your stress. But most of the time, you can keep that in check. You know, there's ways to remove your stress. And usually I'm not too worried about it. But, you know, sometimes I could see the point of taking it. Torches keeps your light up. Short dungeons, rule of thumb, short dungeons is 8. Medium dungeons is 12. Long dungeons is 16. That's how I play it. Now, it also depends on the area. Ruins and warrens are usually pretty short, so those ones I will take the 8, 12, and 16 torches for the dungeons. However, the cove and the weald, both of those have really long hallways, and your torch seems to die faster. So you're going to want to take a few extra ones for those dungeons. Like I said, it's about learning each dungeon and learning how to work in it. I won't lie, the first time I went in the cove, oh jeez, I ran out of torches and I still had like 3 rooms I had to go through, and by the time I got done I was on no torch light whatsoever, and I got some good loot, don't get me wrong. If the torch light goes down low, you get better loot, but they have a better chance of critting you and all that, and I was new to the game, it frustrated me. So just make sure you take enough torches for you. But we'll go ahead and launch into this one here, and I'll show you some basic combat skills and everything, and how to use the map. Alright, so here's our map. Everybody's usually going to have this as their first map. It says I have to explore 90% of the rooms, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 rooms. So 90%. 10% of that would be 0.7. So basically all but 1 room. I have to see all of them but 1. So I could either go up and around and do this whole corner, or I could do up, 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 over, come down, go back up, and then come over. You know, it depends, but I actually usually do that one because it uses less torchlight. If you've already looked up a path, it takes up less torchlight to go back over it. Honestly, I'm gonna hit them all because I like getting stuff. I like getting trinkets. I like getting treasure. So we're gonna go through this. So here's a curio. If you look on the map, all right. Hang on, back up a little bit. Okay. As you can see, it's marked by a blue box. That's a curio. So salvage number and torch.
Wealth beyond
hey, we
measure.
got a free torch.
Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Okay, there we go. And as you can see, the torchlight's at about almost 3. So we're gonna move forward. Boom. Now the torchlight's dim. Alright, so as you can see, stress, monster crits, etc, etc. If I use a torch, now my dodge is 2, scouting's 2, monster surprise 4. So yeah, it gives a better chance. Like I said, bleed is pretty much worthless here, so we're not going to use bleed. I'm just going to go ahead and use the grape shot blast, hit them both. Let's see here. I don't have that front blast, unfortunately, so that kind of sucks. But we got damage and speed boosting here, so we're going to go ahead and boost the damage of him. Nobody's hurt. So.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
And then we'll use boom, there we go. Simple.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Now these small chests, there's nothing for them. You just open them. Got another shovel and some more gold. Alright, so we'll go ahead and move our way up. As you can see, as I'm going through it, their stress is going up. Here's a blockage that's represented by dark blue.
Even the cold stone seems bent on preventing passage.
Now once you use an item
The
on a
light,
curio,
the promise of safety.
once you use an item on a curio, then the next time you get that curio, it'll actually tell you what it does with the item you use. So if you use one and it doesn't work, it'll put an X underneath it in the little circle. If you use one and it works, it'll have a symbol in there telling you what it does. So no worries there. Now we got 2 skeletons and a person in the back, but this won't reach the back row, so there's no point in using that. So we're just gonna grape shot it again. Like I said, you're probably gonna miss a few times. You can skip, by the way. You can pass turn, but you'll get stress boost, so I don't ever do it. I'm gonna go ahead. Resisted, okay. Now these are unholy, so I'll do some extra damage like it says. Bonus damage to unholy, so...
Begone, fiend! Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Bump in the night.
Another abomination, cleansed from our lands.
Alright, so here's one. Here's one of those things I was telling you about here, alright? The Bloody Herb, 10% accuracy on melee skills, 30% bleed chance, 20% damage on melee skills. That is all for one thing. But it's got no downside to it, so we'll go ahead and not take up space in our inventory with it. But we'll go ahead and throw it on him, so that way he has that. He doesn't have any melee skills or the bleed skill right now, so I'm not really worried about it helping us. But it'll take up less space in the inventory, and it could help out later. So I'm gonna go and take that. Take these. There we go. Alright, now here's a scout. Now as you can see, we got the blue boxes there. Those are curios. The one on the bottom right, that's a curio as well. Did not mean to do that. So that's a curio as well, but it's going to have a room battle in it. That's a room battle with treasure. So whichever way I go, I'm going to get something. Me personally, I'm going to go after the treasure first. But that's just me. Having a little trouble. So that's a backpack. Backpacks, there's nothing for them. Just open them up. Alright, so here's the key. Here's a shovel. It's actually pretty good because we're probably going to have a treasure chest in here. And we are! Alright, so let's see here. First off, we don't want our stress getting up, so I'm going to take this. Keep that one in the back. Go to plague grenade. Blight to Glide.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Take out the skeleton.
The slow death, unforeseen, unforgiving.
Now, if you scout, you're never going to get surprised. You can surprise them, but they will never surprise you. So that's a good thing. We're going to buff him up. Get some bleed damage applied to him. course, when I need the 2 or 3, then I'm not getting 2 or 3, right?
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Alright, so it says an heirloom chest. Now, these have 2 items that work. Anti-venom as well as the key. Now, not all of them will take the anti-venom. So what I do first is I'm going to use the anti-venom. This item has no effect, so this isn't one of the ones that do. Now, if I hit triangle, as you can see, there's an X there. Alright. Any chest that I can't use anti-venom on, it's going to have that X. But if I find a chest that does let me use it, then any chest that has the anti-venom highlighted with gold coins, now I can open it with anti-venom and won't need a key. In this case, I'm going to need a key. Look at that. Look at that. We got some sapphires. Those are 1,000 apiece. Those are always nice. And then slippery boots. Dodge. Dodge chance. Absolutely. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw these. Let's see here. How are we doing on dodge? 12, 17, 7, and 7. These guys I'm not really worried about. They're going to get hit regardless. But he's at 12. He's at 17. If we can make our tank a little bit more dodgy, why not? So we'll go ahead and throw those on him. Now his dodge is 17, his dodge is 17. And you've already seen how much that Decimus dodges, so now we should be able to have a good dodge chance here. Alright, so we're going to go over this way. Flight. Trap.
Carelessness will find no
now, if you
clemency
scout,
in
you
this
might see
place.
a cobweb on one of the squares. That's a trap. And you'll be able to have a chance at disarming it. That's in the bottom right. There you see resistances. It says move, bleed, debuff, trap. Trap 20% for him, 50, 20, and 10 for that one. So you'd probably select your highwayman and try and disarm it. If you do disarm it, it will reduce stress for that character. So as you level up, those will go up. But for right now, yeah, you're going to use your highway guy. Nothing here. Okay, scout away. Ah, there's another trap. Looks like we got some treasure at the end there too, so we'll make sure I finish this up as well. Alright, so here's a trap. Alright. Now as you can see it's normal, but when I get close enough, it gets to red. It turns red a little bit there, right? So I'm gonna highlight, and as you can see they got this little cobweb marker there saying it's a trap. So I'll use him. Disarm. He gets a reduction in stress. Alright, now some people will go in the door right here. I'm not going to do that. I got a battle coming ahead and I want that light up. But I also don't want to waste a torch. Make sure you're at the end of the hallway before you do it, because if you're not, then when you go in the door, now you're dimmed. Always make sure you're in the right spot on the door if you're trying to keep your light up. Now I can light that up. There we go. Alright. Plague hit him first. It also pays to know which characters do more damage than others. If I had a guy with a club, I'd kill the sword guy first. Then I'd go after the club guy for the choice. Since they're both swords, I'm not really worried about it. But this guy in the back, I don't like him. He's got a good defense on him, and those bolts can hurt. So.
Another one falls.
See, there's 6 on him. That's like almost half his health. There's another 7. Like I said, see, like they all focused on one character. It does happen. So.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
I'll use battlefield. We're gonna use our single heal. Survived. Look at that.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Oh, wow, I got lucky. Alright, that's a trinket we want. Okay, so we're going to throw that on him. This, I recommend when you first play this game, if you have a chance to get a survival guide, take it. Plus 10% scouting chance, plus 10% trap disarm chance. It'll lower your speed by 1, but I'll go ahead and take a hit of 1 minus on my speed to be able to scout ahead, prevent surprises, know when tramps are coming, and not only that, but have a better chance of disarming them, know where the battles are located. Yeah. I'll definitely take that any day of the week. Alright, now this one is a holy fountain. You're going to use holy water on it. As you can see, it's a question mark right now, but I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, it reduces stress and increases health. He's got both stress and health needs, so we're going to throw some holy water in there. Divine benefit, health, and stress relief. Now the next time I come across one, it'll actually have a marker in that circle saying what it does, so there is that. Okay, so now I got this little box there. I'm going to come back around this way, there we go. Ah, kleptomania, here we go. So, oh, look at that, holy water and 500 gold. Guess what? We're not getting it because little Mr. Klepto over there is going to take it all. Jerk. Alright, now as you see, I just use it. It takes about 1 torch per hallway approximately. But watch this. On the way back, because I've already seen this hallway, now watch the torchlight. It doesn't go down as fast. You see that? You're still gonna get stress, but it's not burning down your torchlight as much. So that's 2 hallways on a single torch, and I took it down by about halfway. So you could probably do about 4 hallways here in the ruins off one single torch if you've already seen them. Alright, pack contains loot.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Alright, so I got plenty of food now. So since I have 2 rooms to go, give him some health. There we go. These are portraits. It's one of the things that you're going to need for leveling up. I know I'm clean all the way through. There's a hunger check. And as you can see, it used up 4 of the food. Okay. I was wondering where that hunger check was. Quest is complete. Now, I could head back, but I mean, my characters are all in good health. Their stress is low. I got a treasure room down there. I'm going to have to fight, but I mean, my guys are pretty well prepared. There's no fight on the way. There is a blockage on the way. But I got shovels, so I'm not worried about it. So we're going to go to get that treasure. And I'm out of torches. Look at that. I had just enough torches. You see that? Alright, now remember I told you stress is the worst one, so I'm going to hit that guy with the cup in his hand, because he's a stress inducer. So we're going to want to go after him first. Plus then I got the guy shooting that crossbow. This targets the back. Blight them both. And then we're going to go ahead and use a grape shot. Do a little damage on him. Let's see here. Everybody's full health, so we'll just go ahead and do that. And we will take out this guy.
As the fiend falls, a faint
Now, if you get a
hope
crit hit
blossoms.
to finish off a target, there will be no body left behind. It'll destroy it completely. So. There's that stress right there. 20 stress just from one hit by that guy. Must be fun of him.
Death by inches.
That's why I blighted him first. He's already dead. No, I can't target the front with this guy, so we're gonna go ahead and use the blinding gas, and hopefully we'll stun him. There we go. Got the stun on him. So we'll do that, and then I'm actually gonna pistol shot. There we go.
great is the
Yeah, and
weapon
the
that
blight kills
cuts
him,
on its
okay.
own.
And then, let's see here. The only one who got hit, I think, was the front guy. Oh, no, I got hit too.
Compassion
Do
is a
that, reduce
rarity
the amount of
in the
stress a little
fevered
bit.
pitch of battle.
Crit heals reduce a little stress, so that's good. Oh, I missed him. Not good. Alright, well, let's boost up the damage and speed then. Now, I don't really have much I can do. I can do this, but it's damage modification of minus 50%. Or I could just hit him for straight damage minus 15%. So even though he can't bleed, he still does more damage than if I hit him with a grave shot. Since she's at full health.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
There we go. Go ahead and collect everything.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Okay, now you see how the anti-venom on this chest doesn't have an X. Which means I can use the anti-venom on it. Now any chest will tell me if I can use anti-venom or not. And then now we are completely complete, so we're just going to go ahead and end this dungeon. As you see, I got almost 4,000 in treasure, plus another 3,000, so that's an extra 7 grand in my pocket. I got 4 of those heads, 2 of the pictures, and 4 of the seals there, and then I got another 4 up there for the quest rewards. That gives me a total of 8. So that's always good. Looks like everybody got a quirk. Alright, let's see what happens. So now, like I said, they were level 0, level 1. Done. Mostly good. Alright, so she'll do extra damage. She has better accuracy and crit chances against humans. Less stress in the warrens. 15% damage in the wield. And obsessed with material things. You're just... Ray needs to get his head on straight. I'm just going to say that right now.
I see something long absent in the sunken faces of passers-by. A glimmer of hope.
Okay, so now the tavern's open.
Fresh kegs,
Stress relief.
cards, and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
Now, these, basically, the more you pay, the more stress you're going to get released. There is bad things that can happen if you go to the bar. You can become an alcoholic. You can misplace it. You can have a blackout night drinking, and then you'll go ahead and lose like a trinket. Or gambling, you can lose money or trinkets. You could also develop the ability to become a known cheat, so you can't use it at all. And then the brothel, pleasures of the flesh. Well, if you're going to a whorehouse, what do you think you might get? Oh, syphilis is a possible disease you can get, which will affect your ability of that character. So, I mean, there's negatives that come, but the whole point is that it's going to reduce your stress, is what you're going to get out of that. And then the other option is the Abbey.
The cobwebs have been dusted, the pews set straight. The Abbey calls to the faithful.
And so then you got this one that you can use. For example, the Penance Hall Flagellation. The Flagellant can only use the Penance Hall. So if he gets a quirk negative that says, oh, I can only use the bar on it, well, now you can't heal his stress levels at all, because he can only use the bar, but his personal thing that his character has is that he can only use Flagellation. So now it's saying you can only use the bar, but you can't use the bar. So it makes it so you can't heal it at all. So that's definitely one you'd want to get rid of. Honestly, their stress levels aren't too bad. Hers is a little high. That's about 3 there. The Abbey and the bar, both of them you can level up. Same thing as before. The first one will increase the stress recovery. Second one reduces cost. Third one opens up another cell. Then recovery, cost, and another cell. So that's how those work. Works with both of them. This one requires those heads. And this one down here, I believe, is pictures. Yeah, pictures for this one down here. Now, I told you about the stagecoach. Let's go take a look and see what we got. Alright, see we got some characters, but look at this, we got two.